Lake Orion's American Summer launched with the Lion Club's annual Jubilee and concluded with the dueling fireworks show, which many described as the best ever. 4 days of food, music, and fun made up the 2018 Dragon on the Lake Festival. Lake Orion's biggest event of the year was highlighted by the dragon boat races on the final day. More than 200 volunteers braved unfavorable weather as they built a playground at Camp Agawam while celebrating the camp's 100th anniversary. And Lake Orion High School's varsity volleyball team added their name to the championship banner as they took home the state title for the first time in school history. Hello everyone, I'm Stacy Calloway. Those are just a few of the stories that helped shape Lake Orion over the past year. Join me as we take a look back at 2018. While most people were sleeping in on New Year's Day after ringing in the new year, a group of dedicated runners braved freezing cold temperatures on the first day of 2018. On the morning of New Year's Day, 185 runners gathered at the Fork and Pint in downtown Lake Orion to check in for the 18th annual New Year's Resolution Run. At race time, the temperature was 5 degrees with a wind chill of -11, making it the coldest day in the event's history.
Good luck, everybody. Have a safe start. Make sure you go over the mats. Thank you again for coming. Have a great 5 days.
It's really exciting to be able to bring that kind of event and have people want to be there badly enough that they will come and run in -11 weather.
The course took runners through the neighborhoods of the village with the finish line set up on Broadway Street near Hanson's Running Shop. Times were recorded by Eastside Racing Management Company. The Lake Orion Police Department was on hand to make sure everyone was safe, and Lake Orion's DPW was out earlier that morning, salting and clearing the path. Registration fees help cover the expenses of hosting the event and benefit the efforts of the Lake Orion DDA. Proceeds from a silent auction went to Blessings in a Backpack. On the evening of Saturday, January 20th, the Knights of Columbus Hall on Orion Road was filled to capacity for the 5th annual Trivia Night benefiting Blessings in a Backpack. Almost 30 teams made up of 10 people per team competed in 10 rounds of trivia in a variety of categories. The event was emceed by Fox 2 News anchor Dina Centofanti and Township Supervisor Chris Barnett.
We're very blessed to have so much support, and we have packed over 50,000 backpacks in 5 years that we've been up and running, and it's just amazing the support that we have, and we couldn't do it without this night.
Participants enjoyed a buffet dinner provided by Lockhart's Barbecue. Money was raised through entry fees and raffles, and many participants walked away with fantastic prizes donated by local businesses. The event allows Blessings in a Backpack to distribute over 300 bags of food that help feed Lake Orion students who go hungry over the weekend. On Saturday, February 3rd, more than 100 people came out for the 4th annual Ice Cup Golf Challenge, benefiting the Lake Orion Sunrise Rotary Club. Participants took part in 9 holes of golf, with 7 on the frozen surface of Lake Orion and 2 holes in downtown Lake Orion. One hole challenged golfers to tee off using a slingshot.
Right, we're doing a scramble, so it's just a traditional scramble. Everybody starts at a different hole. They'll all go through 9 holes, and we'll end up at Lockhart's at the end of the day.
In addition to entry fees, money was raised through raffles with prizes donated by area businesses.
Yeah, we have raffles, we have giveaways. The Rewall Company has donated some very nice tickets. We've got some Curbco has donated some Tiger tickets. So we have some stuff. We have some really good prizes this year, and you know, we hope to raise about $15,000. So.
Two teams ended up tying for first place. Team Barnett, made up of Chris Barnett, Sam Ashley, and Kevin Yee, and the long putters, made up of Phil Auger, Chris Auger, Don Anderson, and Rob Anderson. The money raised benefits the efforts of the Lake Orion Sunrise Rotary Club. On Saturday, February 10th, ONTV went live on the air for its 8th annual 5 or 5 food drive at the Orion Center. From 10 a.m. to 4 p.m., residents were invited to visit the ONTV studio with donations of food or money for a chance to win a wide variety of raffle prizes donated by local businesses and community organizations. Viewers and visitors were also able to enjoy performances by local musicians and dance groups throughout the broadcast. All donations collected benefited the Oxford Orion Fish Food Pantry.
It's wonderful. We have such a need in our community, and the neighbors just supply and help everybody that's in need, and it's lovely. Even in the bad weather today, you got a lot of food, and everybody will really appreciate it.
Unfortunately, heavy snow on Friday and Saturday hampered collection efforts a bit, although people still made an effort to come to the Orion Center with their donations.
Challenges this year, really, it was only the weather. And it was a big challenge. 6 inches plus hit us the week of the food drive leading up to on the 10th of the main drive day. But I have to say our 17 community collection partners did a fantastic job. Without them, we couldn't have hit the 5,000 mark again. It's only the, I think, third time out of 8 years that we hit that mark or above. So yeah, we were aiming for 6,000, but 5,100, that's pretty darn good.
On the evening of Friday, February 3rd, the Lake Orion Police Department's Kids and Cops program returned after a long absence. More than 80 students enjoyed a wide variety of games and activities at Blanche Sims Elementary School.
This is the best fun you can have on a Friday night, and it doesn't cost hardly anything. We're excited about bringing the Kids and Cops program back. It's been idle since around 2009. We were partnered with the Boys and Girls Club, so when that facility closed, the program was closed. But we're back, and we've got about 4 or 5 more dates this year we're going to be.
With support from the community, the program is free for students at Blanche Sims, and a recent fundraiser allowed organizers to purchase a foosball table and a ping pong table. Participants enjoyed pizza with officers as well.
Oh, it's fantastic. You know, we say that Blanche Sims is a real community school, and just really shows that. You know, the involvement with our police officers, with our students, we're all part of the community, all working for the same goals. And the fact that the kids can come and do activities with the police officers is just fantastic. We want to build that positive relationship. And the fact that we can have it here at the school is even better. So we have, you know, the school, the kids, the police officers. It's just a great community feel.
The cool thing is the off-duty officers that are here with them tonight, they're not just supervising and providing security, they're having fun, they're playing with them, they're engaged in the activity. And it's developing a great relationship with the kids. It's bridge building, allowing good, healthy communication between the officers in a different look and in a different format. And that communication and that trust kind of stays with those kids as they grow through their teen years and beyond.
On Saturday, February 24th, Kings Court Castle at Canterbury Village was the site of the 3rd annual Taste of the Town, benefiting the Lake Orion Lions Club and the Lake Orion United Methodist Church. Hundreds of attendees sampled dishes and desserts from 22 restaurants from the Orion-Oxford area.
Well, I don't know where you can try 22 different restaurants for $30 and be overfilled, plus a variety of auction items, and just have a good time close to home. I think it's pretty cool. It's both organizations serve the community, and they're very much involved in that. So it was kind of a no-brainer just to be able to have both of us help with that group. And this year, it's better than ever. I mean, I'm really thrilled.
We here at ONTV were saddened to learn of the passing of one of ONTV's most beloved volunteers. Kevin McCormick passed away on Tuesday, February 27th at the age of 51. He is survived by his wife, Joletta, and 3 children. Kevin was a U.S. Army veteran and a Lake Orion resident for 20 years. He was a Walden Middle School football coach before becoming a freshman football coach at Lake Orion High School. Kevin got involved with ONTV in 2013 when he attended video production classes. In 2016, Kevin was named ONTV's Volunteer of the Year, and in 2017, he received the Golden Mike Award.
I was completely surprised because I did not expect that I was up for any kind of an award. And Volunteer of the Year is just the best award that I could get.
Kevin's final appearance at the ONTV studio was on Tuesday, February 13th for an episode of Lake Orion Sports Update. Little did we know at the time it would be the last time we would see him.
That wraps up this episode of Lake Orion Sports Update. Tune in next time for more winter sports coverage. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.
It was announced in February that the Orion Township Board has approved the hiring of Robert Duke as the new fire chief. Following the retirement of Chief Robert Smith in 2017, Duke comes from the City of Sterling Heights Fire Department, where he served for more than 20 years, most recently as assistant chief. On the evening of Saturday, March 3rd, the Orion Firefighters Association hosted its 34th annual Fireman's Ball at the Paint Creek Country Club. Those in attendance enjoyed a buffet dinner, door prizes, and a fun night of music and dancing. Raffles and a silent auction allowed the Firefighters Association to raise funds that they put back into the community.
The Firefighters Association in Orion is a subsidiary group of our township fire department. It's made up of firefighters, their families, past members in still good standing, and we can come together, raise funds, do fundraisers like this one to help get that money back into the township. It goes through a host of different initiatives, such as scholarship funds, community programs. We sponsor Youth Little League, and we got something we're unveiling tonight of a burnout fund for families affected that have been displaced due to fire in their household.
On the evening of Saturday, March 10th, the Orion Art Center hosted its 28th annual gala at the Paint Creek Country Club in Lake Orion. The theme of this year's event was the Enchanted Forest, and more than 200 people showed up for a night of dinner and dancing. In addition to ticket sales, the Art Center raised money through raffles and a silent auction. New Executive Director Karen Sterick told us 135 auction items were donated by local businesses.
The proceeds from those auctions goes towards the Art Center, benefits the Art Center in bringing art into the community, and goes towards scholarships for students in the vicinity, and just kind of helps run the Art Center and keep it open. I mean, if you think about 28 years of doing this, the Art Center has been open for 39 years. So it's been a long process, but it's always such a great event because we do raise a lot of money and it keeps our doors open literally, and we couldn't do it without the support of the community, without the support of the people in the community, as well as the businesses.
Each year, the Art Center also recognizes the Artist of the Year and Patron of the Arts at the event. Named 2018's Artist of the Year was Simo. Since retiring from General Motors, he has devoted his time to photography and his incredibly detailed charcoal art.
Oh, I'm very happy. That's a surprise to me, and that is very happy about that one. The people love me and the people love my art. And after the 4 years, I joined with, the Orion Art Center. I'm very happy. People so nice. I am very happy, to be over here, tonight. Oh, that's the art center. This means, we connect, with the people to people, artist to artist. That's look at the beautiful. If you can sharing what your knowledge are, different medium, that's beautiful, to be.
Named 2018's Patron of the Arts was Lake Orion native and businessman Bo Bay-Shay-Vicious, who also happens to teach pottery classes for the Art Center.
The Art Center it's part of the community. I mean, it is everyone. You look around this room, and I see so many people I see on a daily basis from when I'm just being around town. And the Art Center brings everyone together for different events and different things. And my big part is the ceramics and the pottery. And I want to just to give people that chance to maybe try something out new here in Lake Orion. I think the Art Center is trying to really moving forward with all of that with the new center we have.
While that was going on, the Lake Orion Lions hosted their 4th annual Lions races at the Knights of Columbus Hall on Orion Road. About 200 people turned out to enjoy dinner, courtesy of Palace Grill, and to place bets on races between wooden lions sponsored by local businesses and organizations. Most of the lions were elaborately decorated by its sponsor.
It's great advertising for these companies because they buy the lion for $150. They decorate it. If they come back another year, the second, third, or fourth year, their entry fee is only $100 to get in.
Hey, we're going to get people
and they
up
are
here
very
again, talk about what
unique.
they do.
In addition to an entry fee, the Lions raise funds through betting and raffles. The club raises approximately $5,000 each year for scholarships. Earlier in the day, 39 teams of 5th graders gathered in the gym of Walden Middle School for the 33rd annual Battle of the Books competition. Back in November, teams were assigned 14 books to read. The students were then asked 50 questions, getting points each time they named the correct title and author. Many of the teams dressed up in elaborate costumes.
All right, well, the kids get the titles and they start reading them, I think the first things that the teams do is they make the teams. And this year it was a little different because of the school redistricting. Most of the teams are from multiple schools. So they wanted to get together with their old friends. So that was really nice. And then I think they memorize the titles and the books, and then they read them, and they have a great time as teams. The kids have so much fun. They learn the love of literature. They learn new authors. They learn new books. It's a great community event. I had a mom come up to me in November. It's her third child. Her best friend is now a woman who she met in the battle 8 years ago when she was new to the community. And she's loved it so much. I think she said 3 or 4 kids go through. So it's a mixture of things. It's definitely community, books, literature, and creativity. Look at those costumes.
After tallying up the scores, the students were invited back on March 13th, this time for an award ceremony at Lake Orion High School. Invited to speak at the event was Margaret Peterson Haddix, author of the book Found, which was among the required reading for Battle of the Books. A former newspaper reporter, Haddix first became a published author 22 years ago and had her 41st book published in April.
It's a very big honor in general, and I am always impressed by the depth of knowledge that kids will show in Battle of the Books programs, and I just think it's a wonderful program for kids.
Following the presentation, all participating teams were invited up to the stage with the top 3 point getters saved for last. With a score of 84 out of a possible 100 points, the team known as Futuristic Twist, representing Pink Creek Elementary, was named winner of the 2018 Battle of the Books. On the evening of Friday, April 13th, ONTV hosted its annual Volunteer Appreciation Banquet at Kings Court Castle at Canterbury Village. Over 80 attendees enjoyed a buffet dinner and looked back at the television programs produced over the past year. Awards were handed out in several categories. Named Volunteer of the Year was Jim Roback, who got involved with ONTV in 2013 through the Orion Center.
Well, this is most surprising. I never expected it, I can tell you that. I certainly like to help ONTV as much as I can. I'm retired, so this is fun. ONTV is a real blessing to visit the TV station with all the great people there. They support me in what I do and what we do for active living, and so it's a wonderful outlet for any senior that should take part in ONTV because it's fabulous.
Named Producer of the Year was Tiffany DeVasher for the sheer volume of content produced over the past year. Tiffany accepted the award alongside her editor, Martin Jackson.
It's just amazing to be able to win this, to be able to work with you all, because on TV, you guys have been amazing in my life. I would say his life-changing experience.
Named Intern of the Year was Shannon Line, who co-anchored ONTV News and hosted live events in 2017. She is currently attending Michigan State University.
I got so much out of what I did at ONTV. A lot of it was just, you get to be a part of your community, which is something that I've lived here my entire life, but I never got to experience. And as far as the journalism side, I don't know any other kind of opportunity where you get to do exactly what the professionals are doing, and I was a freshman in college. And so that opportunity for me and being a part of my community was more than I can ever thank.
And receiving the Golden Mike Award was Doug Corliss, who is not only the voice of Dragon football, but is considered one of ONTV's founding fathers.
I'm stunned. I mean, I think there were a lot of people more deserving, but believe me, Joe, there's nobody more grateful. This is a culmination of a lot of things for me, and I'm really honored.
On Thursday, April 19th, the Orion Art Center hosted an opening reception for its 9th annual Recreate Recycled Art Show. Local artists of all ages are encouraged to submit work using materials that might otherwise end up in a landfill. The theme of this year's show was Be Responsible, Build a Bug Hotel. Since the beginning, the annual show has been sponsored by Waste Management.
The importance of the Recreate Art event has always been that we should find beauty and cast-off items. We should work to reduce, reuse, and repurpose. So the art community, probably they're the champions of that concept. And when the Recreate contest came along, it's really been embraced by the art community in Orion and Southeast Michigan, I should say.
Orion Art Center Executive Director Karen Sterick announced the winners during an award ceremony. Taking first place in the youth division was Ava Wagner, and awarded first place for best use of recycled materials was Ron Finch of Pontiac for his Dragonfly entry.
What a great opening, as usual. We have some great artists in the community, and just very proud of the work that people do for us at the Art Center.
On Saturday, April 21st, the Orion Township Public Library was the site of the 6th annual Passport to Spring event. Visitors were whisked away to Greece as they sampled food courtesy of Mediterranean Station and enjoyed music, dancing, and art.
Tonight's event, we're celebrating the culture of Greece, as I said. So there's a lot of different activities going on. We do have a silent auction that's been out for the last couple of weeks here at the library, and that's just collecting bids, and hopefully people will be able to take home some great prizes from that tonight as well. We have some cultural activities going on. We have an art historian from Oakland University who's doing some lectures on Greek art history. We have somebody from AAA Travel that's here to talk about traveling to Greece. We have some people here from Mango Languages who are teaching people how to speak Greek. We have some great food. We have some from Mediterranean Station here locally in Lake Orion. We also have a Greek band, and some wonderful Greek dancers that are going to be performing for us tonight as well. So a lot of different activities for people to participate in.
On Thursday, April 26, representatives of the Chamber of Commerce and Lake Orion DDA gathered in Greens Park to officially launch the Pedal Boat Pub with a ribbon-cutting ceremony.
I want to say a big thank you to the Orion Area Chamber for the ribbon-cutting ceremony, and then thanks to our friends and family with all the support we've gotten.
Lake Orion's Pedal Boat Pub is the first of its kind in Oakland County and only the 26th manufactured in Bend, Oregon. Up to 16 of your closest friends can enjoy a 90-minute ride around the lake, but you have to bring your own food and drink. A captain and first mate are provided, and if you're in it for the exercise, you can also get a pretty good workout. On the evening of Thursday, April 26th, 40 young people and their family members gathered at Lake Orion High School for the 25th Annual Youth Recognition Awards. Earlier this year, the organization asked the community to nominate students in grades K through 12 who've gone above and beyond volunteerism required by the school district.
We put out letters in February to all the local groups in town, the Girls and Boy Scouts groups, the church groups, libraries, any place that we know kids usually do volunteer hours. We solicit in the newspapers, we ask on the cable stations, just for anybody who would like to send a nomination. We put it on our website, and a lot of people have been stepping up as adults to honor and recognize these great kids.
On Saturday, May 5th, the Chamber of Commerce hosted its 4th annual Healthy Body, Healthy Mind Expo. More than 50 vendors took part in the event, which is one of the many perks of becoming a Chamber member.
So it started with a couple of different health vendors that really wanted something that focused on their particular, professions. Your dentists, your doctors, and all of that. And I think that there is kind of a focus right now on healthy lifestyles a little bit more, I think, in the last couple of years than we've heard. So it was a request from some of our members, and so started it 4 years ago, and it's just growing and growing. So it's something that people are asking for and something that people want.
This was the second time the event was held at Walden Middle School. In addition to offering information and services, several vendors took part in the Soup and Stew Stroll and the Dessert Dash. Visitors were asked to sample the soups and desserts offered up and cast a vote for their favorite. The winners walked away with a traveling trophy to display at their place of business.
So the layout benefits because we're in 2 rooms. We're in the gym and the cafeteria, which is great because we're doing all the food in the cafeteria, and then the gym, we've got another 30-some vendors in there. But it's all on one floor. It's easy to reach. It's Walden Middle School. It's right smack in the middle of Orion. So we're getting, there are people in the fields playing soccer and baseball and all of those things. And so they're driving by and they can see us, and there's lacrosse going on outside. So this is a great location for everybody to be able to see what we're doing.
On Friday, May 11th, the streets of downtown Lake Orion were closed to traffic for the 18th Annual Flower and Art Fair hosted by the Lake Orion DDA. 97 vendors set up tents along Flint Street and Broadway, selling plants and flowers, art, food, and more.
15% of our square footage here is flowers and trees and vegetables, really good stuff here. And about 47% of it is garden art and jewelry and some excellent photographs and paintings. Really, really great stuff for your mom or your dad. That family member who always buys exactly what they want and they've already got it by the time it's time to give them a present, will come down here and find the perfect gift for them, and they will not have seen it before, and you will be the rock star of your family.
Unfortunately, cold temperatures and scattered showers affected the turnout, forcing the DDA to close early on Friday. The fair reopened on Saturday, but the weather was only slightly better.
We celebrate the spring every single year. We've been doing this for years. We make sure that we're doing this right before Mother's Day, the Friday and Saturday before Mother's Day every year, because number one, we want to celebrate spring and have everybody come back into downtown and start off the summer season with a bang. We want to provide excellent gifts and ideas for people who are ready to start the summer off with a bang and to get some great presents, like I said, for that hard shopper. This is the perfect time to do it. All of our shops are ready for you. All the vendors are here ready for you, and we're looking forward to seeing everybody. And that's why we do this every year.
On the morning of Saturday, May 12th, dozens of participants braved chilly temperatures and rain to take part in the NOCC's 6th annual Color Run. Participants began arriving around 9 a.m. to check in and to take part in a brief warm-up before heading out on a 5K course through Friendship Park.
Like I said, we have just under a 5K route set up throughout Friendship Park, partially wooded, partially paved. We have 5 different color stations that are going to be set up where runners will run through color stations and our teen volunteers will be throwing color dust. Each of our stations has been sponsored. It'll be a good time.
The Color Run acts as a fundraiser to help the NOCC work with numerous community organizations in their efforts to help families in North Oakland County.
We have money that has been raised through sponsorships from local businesses, also through race registration fees from our participants, and all of the money helps fund programs that we run in the Lake Orion schools to help promote positive choices and healthy lifestyles and substance-free living.
Poster customers were asked to leave bags of non-perishable food items at their mailbox on Saturday, May 12th for the 26th annual Stamp Out Hunger Food Drive. As mail carriers delivered mail, they collected the bags and brought them back to the post office.
The day starts where we have a nice big breakfast in the office for everybody to give the carriers some fuel to get them going for the day. And especially on a day like today, that's chilly, of course, and a rainy day, so it gets them a good start. And they're just, many customers in Lake Orion, they're all dropping their food off by their mailboxes, and we're picking them up. And then we have volunteers going out to help the carriers pick them up. And we actually have some companies that'll bring food for us in the afternoon. The carriers might stop back in to drop off some food, have a little lunch, and go back out, because it is a busy day, because they're not just bringing in all this food, they're going out and delivering many packages with them. So their trucks are packed when they leave and when they come back.
As the mail carriers delivered the food to the post office, volunteers helped sort the food, which was then picked up by representatives of the Oxford Orion Fish Food Pantry.
Well, we had about 17,000 pounds last year, which is a lot. So we're expecting to beat that. If we could just beat that by 1,000 pounds, that would be great. But I would also like to mention this area, the NALC branch, the union branch for these carriers. Last year, of a group this size, they were #1 in the nation as far as the volume of food that was brought in. So that's an outstanding achievement there, but of course that's due to all the residents such as those here in Lake Orion.
On Wednesday, May 16th, current and former students were invited to attend a special ceremony in the lobby of the Performing Arts Center. Earlier this year, it was announced that Dragon Broadcasting was inducted into the Michigan Student Media Hall of Fame, only the second class ever to receive that recognition.
The Michigan Interscholastic Press Association is our competitive organization for journalism publications in high schools, like yearbooks and newspapers and such. And their top award for best in the state is called the Spartan. And our broadcast program has won the Spartan 9 out of the last 10 years. And that's what it takes to become a Hall of Fame inductee, which is very rare earth, because very few programs can achieve that level. And we're just so very fortunate and happy to be to that level.
Roger Smith has been heading up Dragon Broadcasting since 2002, when he took over for the retiring Brett Saunders, who started the program. 16 years later, Smith has now been overseeing Dragon Broadcasting for the same amount of time his former teacher and mentor ran the program.
It's very surreal to know that I have been doing this as long as the man that I had as a teacher. Now he had taught for many more years than I have yet at this point, but to have been the leader of this capstone class, the TPW class, is very surreal to realize that the man that is my role model and who I learned from, now I'm about to surpass him in terms of how many years I have taught that class, and that's just a very odd feeling.
On the morning of Sunday, May 20th, approximately 150 runners and walkers took part in the 22nd running of Orion Township's Dragon Dash. Participants checked in at the Orion Center, then gathered at the starting line for a 9 a.m. start.
Well, the atmosphere is wonderful. It's a great day to run. It's a little overcast, it's a little chilly, which runners just absolutely run. Great day.
Describe the course today.
Course is the same as last year. We start here at the Orion Center, we go down south on the Pollyant Trail, loop around Township Hall, and come right back up here and end right in front of the Orion Center.
Finishing first overall was Chris Panisi of Royal Oak. Chris finished with a time of 19:21.
Have you taken part in this race before?
I never have. I was looking for a race a couple of days ago, and this one looked like an interesting course, so I came out to run it.
Terrific. How would you describe the race, the environment, the conditions?
It was great. You can park here and run right there. You can't beat that. Course is flat, so it was pretty fast. It was well marked. People were friendly. That was a good race.
On the morning of Wednesday, May 23rd, 42 vendors set up shop inside the Orion Center for the 18th annual Senior Home and Health Expo. An estimated 300 visitors took advantage of the information provided by the vendors in the banquet room, and representatives of Beaumont offered informational lectures and free screenings in the lower level.
18th Senior Expo. We had a lot of great new vendors this year. We sort of put our nets out a little bit further. We have some brand new companies in Lake Orion. Canterbury on the Lake, who's always been here, has come back again this year. We also had Jade Hearing came out this year to do free screenings. Beaumont did lectures in the lower level, so it really was a great event. We have a lot of seniors here in Orion Township. They're not moving out and they're not moving away. So we want to make things as comfortable for them to stay here in Lake Orion, to make sure that they're healthy every day of the year, and to also make things available for them in their homes so they can get around and stay.
The Lake Orion community celebrated Memorial Day with several ceremonies and events throughout the day, including wreath ceremonies at East Lawn Cemetery and in Children's Park in the morning. At 11 a.m., hundreds of patriotic residents lined the streets of downtown Lake Orion for the start of the annual Memorial Day Parade. Police Chief Jerry Narsh led the parade in the department's vintage 1941 Ford police car. His passenger was honored veteran Kenneth Smith. He was presented to the crowd by Ladies Auxiliary President Robin Smith Cram, who also happened to be his daughter. Kenneth Smith is a veteran of the U.S. Navy, serving in Vietnam from 1966 to 1970. Following the brief ceremony, the parade continued with community groups and military vehicles traveling down Flint Street, then turning right onto Broadway on their way to the Eman Center. Immediately following the conclusion of the parade, approximately 180 runners lined up on Broadway Street for the start of the second annual Memorial Day 5K race.
Last year, a group of us thought it'd be great to kind of add one more event to the festivities, and so we started the Memorial Day 5K. We had 194 runners last year. I think we're about 180 this year on the hottest day of the year by far, and the hottest Memorial Day I can remember. I think it's 92, and on this pavement, it feels like 100. So we had an amazing turnout. We're really grateful for the people that came out. As you can see, there's a lot of activity going on behind me. The Memorial Day ceremony is going to start here at 1:30, but it's just an amazing show of support for our veterans and for our active duty, just to see people come out and give a couple hours of their day, have some family fun hopefully, and remember what this day really is about before they go to their family parties and their barbecues.
The course took runners to the Orion Veterans Memorial, where they crossed the finish line on Odana, and Orion Township Supervisor Chris Barnett took to the stage to announce the winners of this year's race. Finishing first overall was Merlin Elsner of Oakland Township with a time of 18:43.2. The first female to cross the finish line was 18-year-old Tiernan Michaela of Lake Orion with a time of 24:17.4. At 1:30 p.m., Orion Veterans Memorial Chair Dr. Joseph Mastro Mateo welcomed those in attendance and introduced guest speakers and performers. And once again, Chief Jerry Narsh introduced honored veteran Kenneth Smith to the crowd. The names of veterans killed in action were read aloud to the crowd. Included on that list was Frank Varga, the prominent sculptor who created the main statue at the Veterans Memorial, as well as the War Dogs Memorial. Varga passed away in April of 2018 at his home in Florida.
By coming here today, once again, you remembered over 1 million of our American men and women patriots who have sacrificed their lives for our sake. And I ask you please to continue to make a difference in your words and actions, and stand tall for what is right and just. May God bless us with continued freedom, and may God continue to bless the United States of America, the land of the free, because of the brave.
On the morning of Saturday, June 2nd, dignitaries gathered on the grounds of the Orion Art Center to celebrate the official grand opening of the Paint Creek Trail extension with a ribbon-cutting ceremony.
Let's officially open the Paint Creek Trail extension and Iron Belt Trailhead.
For over 20 years, the Paint Creek Trail has wanted to extend into the village, into the downtown business district, into the communities, into the parks, and just through perseverance and cooperation, we were able to finally make it a reality. And this beautiful 0.6 mile extension is a great way for us to have a park-to-park trail, which would start at Rochester Municipal Park and then end right here at beautiful Children's Park, where we have all kinds of amenities. Orion Township's providing a drinking fountain and public restrooms with their new building, their new fire station. We've got great businesses and bike amenities, and we're really excited to be able to have another 120 parking spaces available for anybody that would like to use the Paint Creek Trail.
This has been a vision in the making for a very long time, and we're very excited that Paint Creek Trail now starts at a park and ends at a park in both sides, and that there's ample parking and ample entertainment on both ends, because when you're biking, for most of us, biking involves having a reward at the end. And so the reward for this side of the trail is going to be downtown Lake Orion and all that we have to offer, and same thing on the other side with Rochester.
Later that evening, a large tent was set up in the parking lot near Children's Park for the third Clergy Cops and Kids event. Visitors enjoyed food and family-friendly fun and were invited to take part in cornhole games. A total of 5 different entertainers performed throughout the afternoon and evening, with the final band going on at 8:30 p.m.
Well, we realize that both of our organizations do a lot socially within the community for families and for children. And Pastor John Ball from the church and I got together one day and said, you know, we got to collaborate on an event. And out of that was born Clergy Cops and Kids. And the funds go for the many ministries that they do within the community at the church. And of course, we do the Kids and Cops and all of the youth sports and other things through the Kids and Cops program.
On Thursday, June 7th, the Orion Area Chamber of Commerce hosted its annual summer picnic at the Orion Center. In addition to celebrating summer, the picnic was an opportunity for Chamber Director Kim Urbanowski to make a big announcement. At the time, the Chamber was in the process of moving their offices from downtown Lake Orion into the lower level of the Orion Center. Chamber members and staff celebrated the move with a ribbon-cutting ceremony.
1, 2, 3.
I think it was the January breakfast when we were here, and Aaron Watley kind of pulled me aside and said, you know, it's possible that we could find a space for you here if you're, you know, sort of interested. And we started talking about it then. And then I think probably 2 months later, you know, we sort of figured out how we could make it work and brought it to the board, and they were overwhelmingly in support and just thought it was a great idea. So here we are, you know, June 7th, and starting to slowly move our stuff in, so it's been kind of quick.
On Saturday, June 9th, the Orion Township Public Library hosted a kickoff event for their annual summer reading program. Unfortunately, stormy weather forced activities to move indoors, but families still seemed to have fun taking part in crafts and activities. The library also offered free pizza to everyone who attended. The event was the launch for the summer reading program, which encourages families to register online and keep track of the number of books they read throughout the summer.
We have programs for 0 to 5-year-olds, so it's a read to me program, obviously, so that any books that you read to your small one, ages 0 through 5, all summer long, can get counted towards that. If you are already reading on your own or starting kindergarten through 5th grade, we have a youth program for kids, and they're, again, counting how many minutes or books that they read. And then we have a teen program for middle school and high school kids, and we have an adult program for all ages of adults. So, and there's good prizes to win. So I really want to see more adults and teens sign up this year.
On the evening of Monday, June 11th, 520 seniors walked across the stage at DTE Energy Music Theater for Lake Orion High School's graduation ceremony. The event featured speeches from faculty and students and included several musical performances.
Class of 2018, would you please stand? Please move your tassel from the right to the left. Congratulations, Dragons, we have graduated.
On Thursday, June 21st, representatives of the Lake Orion Lions Club were joined by local dignitaries to officially kick off the 2018 Jubilee in downtown Lake Orion. DDA Director Molly Lalone read a proclamation at Lions Club members cut the ceremonial ribbon.
Ride upon the machines of amusement and make merry upon the streets of Lake Orion. Go forth, kind citizens, and celebrate your freedom.
Recognition of our culture and our history. Lake Orion started out as the place that Detroiters came to relax and to have a vacation, and we started out with an amusement park out on Park Island, and our downtown developed, and now we're having our carnival right here in downtown.
The Jubilee originated 42 years ago to coincide with the country's bicentennial celebration and continued as an annual event. The 2018 Jubilee kicked off on Thursday night and came to an end on Sunday, June 24th. Visitors enjoyed rides, games, and food courtesy of Skirbeck Entertainment Group, and adult beverages and entertainment was provided in the beer tent. On Saturday night, residents began gathering on the shores of the lake for the fireworks show. The first show was launched promptly at 10 p.m., and the show continued for 20 minutes, concluding with a spectacular finale. Not only is the Jubilee one of the Lion Club's biggest fundraisers of the year, but it also acts as a homecoming for longtime Lake Orion residents and a fun way to officially kick off summer.
It started as a bicentennial, that was the year of bicentennial celebration, and we've just taken it from there. And it really, to the Lions Club, and I think to a lot of people in Lake Orion, it's kind of like a homecoming of sorts. You let your friends know that this is happening, you come down and you meet everybody. It is our biggest fundraiser of the year. All of the money that we raise this weekend will go directly back into the community through either our Christmas basket program or eyeglasses for people who need them, hearing aids, whatever the community needs, the Lake Orion Lions Club would be there to help.
Everybody seems to come back. We see the same faces coming through, and we see the kids get a little taller every year coming through and enjoying themselves.
This event is the beginning of summer. It's the, hey, school is out, it's time to have fun. Let's go downtown, let's go on the rides. I mean, we got rides for little kids and we got rides for teenagers. It's just bringing the community together, people having a good time. And as a result, the Lions Club makes some money on it, and we in turn then turn around and support programs and services and things like that for the blind and visually impaired.
Later that same evening, local families were invited to come out to the Orion Center to enjoy food, music, carnival games, and more during the summer sizzle. The annual event originated in 2009 and is free to the public thanks to generous sponsors.
It's a huge success, and who could ask for better weather? It's just beautiful outside. Great night to be outside with your family. Summer Sizzle started a few years back, and we did it in the middle of summer when it was really sizzling. This year we decided to move it more towards the kickoff of summer to hope for a more pleasant evening, one that wasn't 97 degrees with 105 degrees humidity, and we got it.
On the evening of Saturday, June 30th, spectators began lining up along M24 and all around the lake hours before Lake Orion's third annual dueling fireworks show. Lake Orion Fireworks Association hosted a viewing party on Pelton's Point, which acted as a fundraiser for the annual show. Ace Pyro returned once again to launch fireworks from 2 barges located east and west of Bellevue Island. The show began just after 10 p.m., continuing a tradition that has a long history in Lake Orion and has been ranked 14th best in the nation by Guff.com.
This started out many years ago before me, okay, and it started out with one guy doing fireworks off his lot, his house. He did a great show. The neighbors started contributing to it, got bigger and bigger and bigger. Then it became Lake Orion Fireworks Association back in 1990. Okay, so all the donations are private. We don't take any government money. So I tell everybody every year, donate. This is your show. You know, the more you donate, the better the show. So obviously they're contributing. When we became 14th in the country, for a small burg like this is pretty amazing. And again, like Matt said, you know, it's the community, and it's people from near the community that dig in. We have over 100,000 people on a lake watching this. I mean, it's unbelievable. You can't go down M24 now, you can't find a parking spot.
The show ran a satisfying 30 minutes long, culminating with a spectacular finale that many spectators described as the best ever. On Tuesday, July 3rd, the parking lot at Culver's in Orion Township was once again filled with classic cars for the weekly car cruise, but this time it was a special occasion. Culver celebrated its 10th year of serving the Lake Orion community.
This is our anniversary month, Joe, so it's hard to believe we've been here 10 years, and so I thought I'd tie in maybe our anniversary with the 4th of July, and everybody's busy on the 4th, so I said, hey, it's Tuesday, let's do it Tuesday, the day before the 4th. So here we are, and God, we got all sorts of stuff going on. I got my girl singing the national anthem, Tora, she's one of my employees. Just a lot of things going on.
On Tuesday, July 17th, the Friends of Camp Agawam hosted a ribbon-cutting ceremony at the camp's amphitheater to celebrate the completion of a new set of stone steps.
1, 2, 3.
We're celebrating this great camp. We've raised money through our efforts with Tommy Stock and other events out here to build these stairs. So we're celebrating the construction of the Fire Bowl stairs and also our 501c3 status that we just got this spring. Ray Rogers, who's right up here from Rockworks in Lake Orion, his company designed and put these in for us, and it's a beautiful addition with these stones for sure.
On the evening of Thursday, July 19th, the Palazzo de Bozzi hosted the opening ceremony for its 2018 International Invitational. Director of Operations Brian Battaglia introduced players representing 8 different countries, with each team hoping to take home the $10,000 prize for first place. It's not the first time the venue hosted a tournament of this magnitude, which allows owners to show off this magnificent facility.
My father was a general contractor for a number of years, and we used to play bocce over at Windsor. There was a Charo club over there that we played at, and he retired and kind of got bored, and so he decided he wanted to have a place he could play bocce a little bit closer with world-class courts like this. So the original thing was basically a pole barn with a pizza oven, and it grew a little bit. So yeah, 32,000 square foot facility with an Italian restaurant in it and 10 bocce courts. It's pretty awesome.
The tournament kicked off early Friday morning with teams competing in both singles and doubles games. The action continued into Saturday with the finals taking place Saturday evening. The teams representing the United States and Italy advanced into the finals, and when the scores were tallied, it was announced that Italy would be taking home the trophy. On Friday, August 3rd, Orion Township hosted its 15th annual Big Rig Gig at Friendship Park. 24 businesses and organizations provided vehicles of every shape and size, including trucks, tractors, and emergency vehicles.
What is not to go nuts over? Anything with a horn, I think, is the most popular. The road commission vehicles with the big plow, because the kids see those a lot. The fire trucks, because they've got the lights and sirens. Everything. It's just overwhelming. I'm a big kid at heart. I just love this.
A perfect summer day brought out a record turnout for the annual event. It's estimated that more than 600 cars came through the entrance at Friendship Park.
I love to have people come out to the park, spend time with their family, and have a good time. I mean, you just see so many smiling, happy faces. This is what Parks and Rec is all about, having a good time with your family.
Quite possibly the highlight of the evening for most attendees was the arrival of a helicopter from Life Flight of Michigan. The chopper circled overhead a few times before gently touching down in Friendship Park.
On Saturday, August 4th, the streets of downtown Lake Orion were closed off for the 2018 Kids and Cops Charity Cruise. Hosted by Gowling Buick GMC, the car cruise is in its 11th year, moving into downtown Lake Orion in 2015.
We started it out at Gowling's, and between Mr. Cooper and Jerry Narsh, they decided that we'd like to do something different. And bringing it down to the village is a special thing. A lot of these guys, the drivers, like it being down here. It's a fun event, and it's a good one for us for Gowling because we're helping support the businesses down here.
Registration started at 8. I got here at about 6:45, and we already had about 40 cars. So they started early, lining up early. It's going to be 88 degrees and sunny, no wind. I mean, it's just a beautiful day for a car show, and not just a car show, but it's kind of like a downtown family party. So we've got live music, we got Rock and Ronnie spinning them. Thanks to Gowling Buick GMC and all of our supporters, we're going to have a really cool day.
More than 200 classic cars, muscle cars, and hot rods lined up along Broadway, Flint Street, and Front Street, with trophies handed out at the end of the day. DJ Rock and Ronnie spun the oldies, with the band 2 Days Gone performing live music. The money raised at the event went to the Lake Orion Police Association's Kids and Cops programs.
We ask for donations from the drivers. All our car shows are free, but we always ask for a donation for the charity. We just had an all-you-can-eat pancake breakfast, which I'm proud to announce was sold out completely. We ran out of everything. They'll have a 50-50 drawing. The police department is also selling some items, so we're trying to generate as much money as we can for them to help their our Cops with Kids program.
On Tuesday, August 7th, Lake Orion voters were also asked to determine the fate of 3 millage proposals during the primary election. A safety path millage renewal was approved with 57% voting yes. A proposed Parks and Recreation millage was also approved by voters with 5,300 yes votes to 3,967 no votes. Voters also approved a millage renewal benefiting the North Oakland Transportation Authority by more than a 2-to-1 margin. On Saturday, August 11th, over 200 kids and parents gathered at the library to enjoy a magic show and to take part in a raffle for fantastic prizes, courtesy of the Friends of the Library. The event was the library's way of rewarding those who took part in the summer reading program.
So the prizes come from funding of the Friends of the Library. We get some money from the Friends of the Library to go out and purchase some great prizes to encourage our kids to keep reading throughout the summer. So the grand prize, the kids get reading prizes throughout the summer depending on how much reading they do. And then when they reach the end of that, they can put their name in a drawing for a grand prize. And the grand prizes have been on display in our showcase all summer long. So I think some kids have had their eye on specific ones. They put their little ticket in whichever one they want, and we draw out a winner today.
On Monday, August 13th, staff and dignitaries gathered in front of Menards on Brown Road to celebrate the official grand opening of the chain's newest location. Orion Township Supervisor Chris Burnett was invited to cut the ceremonial board.
Township's been super supportive. It's been fun to work, with the township and to open up this store. Obviously, it's a pretty big task for everybody. So I think everybody's been very supportive and worked well together.
Menards has a history that goes all the way back to 1958. The Orion Township location is the chain's 313th store. Although ground was broken in July of 2017, the wheels of this particular location were set in motion a decade ago.
Yeah, so really it was back in 2008 or 2009. The board at that time, Matt Gibbs, supervisor, created what was called the Brown Innovation Zone. And that was the kind of initial look at taking this area that was largely blighted and totally underdeveloped and try to reinvent it. So then fast forward to 2012-13 when I started with the township. We started looking at creative ways we could attract investment, and the biggest thing we heard over and over was the road couldn't take more traffic. So we created the Corridor Improvement Authority, and basically it's a tax capture. It's not a tax increase, but it allows us to put almost $5 million in the investment in Brown Road to widen it from 3 to 5 lanes. And the second we announced that, we had been talking with Menards, but the second we announced we were formally doing it is when they they said, we're coming, we're going, they bought the property, and since that time, it's been a great relationship.
225,000 square feet of retail and warehouse space sit on 32 acres of land on the north side of Brown Road. The store offers everything from lumber to produce.
In this store, we're going to offer amazing guest service. I mean, that's the key. That's the whole reason why we open our front doors every single day, is to service the guests. I mean, everything that goes into the last 7 weeks and honestly the next 2-3 years, it goes into our guests.
On Thursday, August 23rd, residents and business leaders gathered in downtown Lake Orion to celebrate the official grand opening of the Flint Street alleyway with a ribbon cutting ceremony.
Ready? Go. A little bit of money and put up some lights, and it didn't last. It was a temporary fixture, but that temporary fixture became a beloved place in Lake Orion, and because of that affection that people had for something that we put up temporarily, we were able to make a permanent structure here. So now we have lights, we have a sign that says Lake Orion, Michigan. People know where Flint Street alleyway is, and they come and take pictures here and enjoy themselves.
The project was made possible thanks to several entities coming together. New Products provided the wooden structure and signs at both entrances. John Burt Realty offered a donation that made the project eligible for a grant from the Michigan Association of Realtors.
So we do what's called placemaking grants, and specifically it's through the Lighter, Quicker, Cheaper program. So basically we provide grant money for communities that are looking to revitalize areas that might not have been draws to the community, to help strengthen it, try to get people to come to these areas, and try and really get people to come to the communities and stay here.
I was born and raised here in Lake Orion. I grew up 2.5 blocks from this alley, so I just have a lot of old memories, of riding my bicycle as a kid through the alley. So it just made perfect sense. My first job was on this corner as a teenager. My first job was, at a clothing store that was on this corner. So just the history just made total sense. Then the thinking that if you can't support your local community, then who can you really support? So it's our way of trying to give back.
In August, Lake Orion's biggest event of the year, the Dragon on the Lake Festival, provided residents with 4 days of music, food, and fun. ONTV's Joe Johnson was there all 4 days and put together this story.
On Thursday, August 23rd, the Orion Area Chamber of Commerce hosted their monthly Thirsty Thursday event at the Dragon Pub near the Orion Arts Center. The event was just a prelude to the official kickoff of the 2018 Dragon on the Lake Festival. And with that, Dragon on the Lake was officially underway. Those attending Thirsty Thursday were encouraged to sample 3 different chili recipes, courtesy of firefighters from the Oxford, Rochester, and Orion Township Fire Departments. After sampling each chili, voters were instructed to drop a ticket into a boot representing each fire department. The team collecting the most tickets was declared the winner.
Orion Township Fire Department, back-to-back years. You get this. You get to take this home with you.
While some residents were enjoying music and beer and wine on Friday evening, boaters were gathering on the lake for the Lake Orion Lake Association's annual Lighted Boat Parade. A number of judges boarded a pontoon and headed out on the lake to look over the entries. The lighted boats lined up behind Scott Campbell's fire-breathing Dragon and began the parade around the perimeter of the lake. The parade attracted dozens of other boaters who just came out to get in on the fun. At the end of the evening, the judges huddled together to select the top 3 entries, and the winners were announced at the awards ceremony on Sunday. Vendors lined up along Flint and Broadway streets to sell their wares, including food and art vendors. Visitors were also able to watch demonstrations. On the south end of Broadway Street, Al Brown worked on his amazing marble sculptures, and on the north end, groups like Pro Martial Arts entertained the crowd. The Kids Zone offered young ones a chance to take part in crafts and activities, and a flash mob broke out at the intersection of Flint and Broadway. Over in the Dragon Pub, the Square Pegs returned to Lake Orion on Saturday night to entertain the enthusiastic crowd with their classic 80s tunes. New lead singer Cassidy Temple joined the band in May. She showed off her powerful vocals, singing songs by Madonna, the Go-Go's, and Tony Basil.
Describe the experience. What do you try to give the audience?
Oh, everything and more. I absolutely love all the stuff that we get to do, the costumes, the music, everything is such a immersive experience, and I really want the audience to have as much fun as we have. So try to get them dancing, singing along, whipping their hair right along with me.
Early Sunday morning, runners returned to the Orion Arts Center for take 2 of the Dragon on the Run 5K race. The weather was much better this time around, and the race got underway precisely at 8 a.m. Approximately 60 runners took part in the inaugural race that took participants onto the Pink Creek Trail.
All right, well, yesterday we tried to get our first Dragon on the Run going, and the storms came through and took us for a loop. We had to cancel yesterday, but luckily we were able to reschedule for this morning. We bumped it up an hour, so we've got an 8 a.m. gun, and that way hopefully all my runners can get through the finish line and head off to the Dragon Boat races.
Immediately following the conclusion of the race, it was off to Greens Park for the opening ceremony of the 10th annual Dragon Boat races. Race directors Elena Campbell and Matt Gibb welcomed the 400-plus paddlers who made up the 22 teams taking part in this year's race. Paddlers took part in a total of 3 heats throughout the day. After recording the fastest times and determining the final seeds, it was announced that 3 teams would compete in the final race of the day for the championship trophy. Last year's champion, Team BYT, occupied lane 1 on your left. 2016 champion, the Bernie Directive, occupied the center lane, and perennial runner-up Dragonaz was placed in lane 3 on your right. Let's watch how it played out. Participants and spectators would have to wait until the awards ceremony to learn who the official winner was. We caught up with the race directors following the conclusion of the 10th running of the Dragon on the Lake boat races.
Lots of Lake Orion Dragon excitement. Amazing for our 10th annual Dragon on the Lake Festival this year.
Yeah, there was a lot of spirit in the park today. There really was. Other years it's been great where people just wait around. Today was a lot of spirit. We've got to actually decide and vote on an award for team spirit. Some years it's like, well, there's only one team that got into it. This year, it's going to be a hard decision. It's
going to be really tough.
So we got to go do our job, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And named winner of the 2018 Dragon Boat races, their second win in 3 years was Team Bernie Directive, captained by Brian Bernie.
Oh, man, we're thrilled to get it back. You know, it's we missed her for a whole year, and it was bittersweet to lose it, but now we have it back, and it's even better. So we're super excited, and well, it's just going to be a good year having it in our house and traveling around with our teammates and everything, so it's a lot of fun.
From downtown Lake Orion, this is Joe Johnson reporting for ONTV News.
On Monday, August 27th, Lake Orion Community Schools administrators and staff gathered at the newly renamed Pine Tree Center for a special ribbon-cutting ceremony. The school, which was closed in 2017, has been repurposed to serve the needs of the district's more than 750 students with disabilities.
Today is a special day because we opened up a brand new building for students with special needs. We are going to have specialized program for students with autism, emotional impairments, plus we're providing a whole new facility upstairs for our 18 to 26-year-olds.
The center is the brainchild of Julie Gutman, Director of Special Education. She told me the school district has been planning for this day for quite some time, with input from the superintendent, the school board, and even parents.
This facility provides us a way to educate more students in our community. Lake Orion Community Schools believes that everyone should be educated in their own community whenever possible, but it also provides us a way to further individualize for students that may have some additional challenges.
On Saturday, September 15th, Galling Buick GMC hosted its 5th and final car cruise of the season. The grand finale Super Cruise hosted approximately 250 classic cars and hot rods in the dealership's parking lot. Visitors enjoyed music and food while supporting a worthy cause. Each monthly car cruise benefited a local nonprofit organization.
When the dust settles this year, we're probably going to be well over $10,000, $12,000 in donations to local charities, and it goes right to them. I mean, there's nothing gets between us and them. So we fund everything, we pay for everything here, and so all the money goes straight to the charities.
On Saturday, September 15th, the community was invited to come out to Orion Township's Wildwood Amphitheater for the 2018 LO Palooza. Now in its 5th year, the event offers music, food, and fun for the entire family. 8 musical acts performed throughout the day-long event, including the 2XL Band and Trippin' Dixie. Jill Jack was the headliner at the end of the evening. Motor City Cornhole organized a cornhole tournament, and 16 vendors were set up on the grounds of the amphitheater, offering a portion of their proceeds to the cause. The event acted as a fundraiser for a proposed Miracle League field.
Today we have tons of activities for the kids that are free. 12 and under are free to get in. Adults are $20, but it's an amazing day of music and awesome food and good times, a beer tent, and we added liquor this year, and everybody's coming out to support the new Miracle League of North Oakland.
On the evening of Saturday, September 15th, the Walking Dead assembled in downtown Lake Orion for the start of the 5th annual Zombie Walk. Unofficially kicking off the Halloween season, dozens of participants gathered at Ed's Broadway gift and costume for the start of the walk, then staggered on over to Fork and Pint, Lockhart's Barbecue, and Valentino's before closing out the night at the American Legion.
It started off as my birthday party. My wife asked me what I wanted to do, and I told her, let's do a zombie walk. And then it just kind of grew from there. People, you know, instead of giving us gifts or giving me gifts for my birthday, then we decided that, you know, we would rather have them make a donation to the lighted parade.
The proceeds generated from the event went to the Orion Area Parade Group, the organizer of Lake Orion's annual lighted Christmas parade.
It's you know, a lot of laughs. It's great. You know, I mean, so many of the people are creative. It's like wild what you know, people are doing.
Homecoming week kicked off on September 30th with a parade and concluded with the big football game against Bloomfield Hills. Here's ONTV's Joe Johnson with all the highlights.
On the afternoon of Sunday, September 30th, hundreds of residents lined the streets of downtown Lake Orion for the 2018 Homecoming Parade. The parade had a Star Wars theme and included Lake Orion's elementary schools, middle schools, and of course the high school, with the LOHS Marching Band entertaining the crowd. The entire homecoming court was introduced to the crowd, representing the freshmen, sophomores, juniors, and senior class. Lori Hogan provided the commentary.
And our final couple today is senior Reed Marshall and senior Sydney Gruppenhoff.
Bringing up the rear was the varsity football team led by head coach John Blackstock, who would face Bloomfield Hills during the homecoming game on Friday. The parade made a right turn onto Broadway before coming to an end at the Eamon Center. On Thursday, October 4th, it was juniors versus seniors during the annual Powder Puff football game. It was the seniors who would get on the scoreboard first. With under 10 minutes left in the first quarter, with the ball on the juniors' 31-yard line, Peyton Shadiah takes the reverse and goes 31 yards into the end zone. The extra point was good, and the seniors find themselves on top 7-0. The score remained 7-0 until late in the third. With the ball on their own 38, junior Mattia Rourke takes the snap, rolls right, bursts through the line, dodges would-be tacklers, and goes all the way into the end zone for the score. Grace Vukolich nailed the extra point, and the game is all tied up at 7 apiece. Let's go to the fourth. With 9 minutes left in the game, the seniors have the ball on the juniors' 26. Number 80, Tessa Noose, takes the reverse, and her blockers clear a path to the end zone. The seniors regain the lead, 14-7. Then, with less than 5 minutes left in the game, quarterback Mattia Rourke takes the snap, reverses her direction in the backfield, and just flat out outruns every defender on the field. She goes 85 yards into the end zone for the score. Grace Vukolich can tie things up with the extra point, but it's no good, wide left, and that's how the game would end. The seniors walk away with a 1-point victory over the juniors. On Friday, the Lake Orion Dragons hosted the Bloomfield Hills Blackhawks during the homecoming football game. With 11 minutes left in the second quarter, the Dragons are facing a 2nd and 9 with the ball on their own 34. Quarterback Blaze Lauer hands off to Marlon Robinson, who hits the hole and goes 66 yards into the end zone. The extra point was good, and the Dragons take a 2-touchdown lead. But before the first half can come to an end, the Blackhawks end up punting to the Dragons. After a few plays and a penalty, the Dragons find themselves on the Blackhawks' 17-yard line with under a minute to go. With Lauer in the gun, he finds Matt Freeman in the end zone for another Lake Orion touchdown. The extra point was good, and the score was Lake Orion 28, Bloomfield Hills 7 at the half. During the halftime celebration, the homecoming court was introduced to the crowd. Last year's King and Queen, Matt Martacci and Sierra Avent, returned to crown 2018's King and Queen. It was announced that Justin Kepler was named homecoming king, and Sierra placed the crown upon the head of Michaela Allen. The couple took a victory lap around the track as 2018's newly crowned homecoming king and queen. Then with 8:15 left in the game and the ball at midfield, Lauer fakes the handoff to Robinson, rolls left, and streaks down the sideline and into the end zone for the score. The 51-yard run was Lake Orion's 6th of the game, and the Dragons come away with a 42-14 win over the Blackhawks.
On Saturday, October 6th, approximately 200 volunteers gathered on a rainy morning to begin construction on a playground on the grounds of Camp Agawam. Things kicked off at 8 a.m. with breakfast, and teams were assembled to work on various aspects of the playground.
We actually kicked off at 8:30, and then we broke out into a bunch of different teams. So we had folks building some of our wood projects. So we built 16 benches today and 10 picnic tables and a gaga pit and a couple tree benches and a bike rack. We also had people over moving mulch all day. We had people mixing concrete all day. And then we had people out in the fields making sure that they were putting together all the different playground components that went in and were installed right behind me. So we had people divided up into a bunch of different teams, all coming together to make one new play space in just 6 hours.
Despite uncooperative weather, including a lightning delay, the majority of the playground was completed within 6 hours.
I mean, we had lightning and thunder, and I mean, it was raining hard. I mean, we had to pump out the water it was thick water. Everybody's shoes are soaked, and you know, the wet socks feeling is no fun. And we were like really kind of in the first third of the construction. So I was a little bit apprehensive that we would be able to muscle through, but the Kaboom people were like, we're finishing this thing today.
While the construction was going on, families were invited to help celebrate Camp Agawam's 100th anniversary. Visitors were able to enjoy games and activities, a petting zoo, and even a hayride through the campgrounds.
Yeah, Camp Agawam was founded in 1918 by the Boy Scouts, and we purchased the camp about 4 years ago. And the Boy Scouts were kind of in a downsizing mode, so we were able to come in and sort of save the camp, not let this turn into some development. And there's so much history here, 100 years of history. And so today is the celebration, the centennial celebration. There's lots of activities going on out here. If anyone has any energy left, I think the kids still have a little bit of energy, but the parents might want to take a seat. But it's a really exciting day for us out here.
On Sunday, October 7th, bicyclists gathered at the ONTV studio in the Orion Center on Joslyn Road to register for the first annual ride, the Oaks fundraiser benefiting Holy Spokes. Participants crossed Joslyn and traveled along the safety path to the entrance of Orion Oaks County Park. There, approximately 40 people formed 9 teams to compete in a bike rally throughout the park.
ONTV always likes to pair up with our local charities to try to raise awareness about what they do around town and for the residents of Lake Orion, Orion Township. And this is our first. We're still celebrating our 30 years of community television here in Lake Orion, and this is really one of our last events of 2018. So it just kind of, we needed a fall event, and we thought, hey, this might be fun to ride a beautiful park here in Orion Township in the fall season, and cider and donuts we provided, but we just didn't want to do a run. We wanted a run or a ride. We wanted to do something that was a little more fun. On
Tuesday, October 9th, the Orion Area Chamber of Commerce hosted its 14th annual Shop, a local expo, at Lake Orion's High School's Field House. Approximately 90 vendors set up shop in the gym to offer food samples, hand out giveaways, and meet with the community. 5 restaurants competed in the annual Pizza Wars, with visitors voting Alibi Express as the best pizza in Lake Orion.
Well, this is one of the biggest reasons. This and the Healthy Body, Healthy Mind Expo are some of the bigger reasons why people will join the Chamber. We do a lot of work on the back end to make sure that this gets put together. We work with a deck of kids for this, so this is our biggest event, and it's something that we like to do. It's a source of pride for us to be able to offer this to our members. But other than that, the networking and the people that you meet, I mean, we've got a lot of people here today that do a lot of business to business as well as business with the community. So I think the networking and getting to know your fellow business members and finding your team, finding your tribe is kind of like what we're saying lately.
On Thursday, October 11th, more than 250 women descended into downtown Lake Orion to take part in the annual Babes on Broadway event. Organized by the DDA and Simply Marcella, the women visited 25 participating businesses as they filled their bingo cards and collected trinkets. Every year, the event raises funds for a local nonprofit organization. This year's event benefited Grace Centers of Hope in Pontiac.
Babes on Broadway is all about ladies getting together and having a wonderful time in downtown Lake Orion, giving them an opportunity to see all the wonderful downtown businesses that we have down here while supporting and benefiting Grace Centers of Hope. It's a shelter in Pontiac that helps people who are struggling with homelessness, abuse, and addiction.
On the morning of Sunday, October 14th, the Lake Orion community came together to celebrate the grand reopening of Fire Station 1, which primarily serves the village and downtown area. The station was constructed in 1979 and occupied in 1980, which makes it the oldest station of the four serving the township and the village. The station was out of service for 6 months while major renovations took place. A large crowd turned out to attend an open house and hose cutting ceremony.
One of the important things is the infrastructure to the building itself, just the sewer, the water, those kind of lines, utilities, all were upgraded. That's one of the huge important improvements, as well as, like I already mentioned, technology upgrade. It really does bring us into the 21st century in terms of safety and security of the firefighters. All new technology upgrades with key fob access and status board updates, so we'll be able to see where calls are going on a big map electronically inside the station.
On the evening of Wednesday, October 17th, young filmmakers, their family and friends gathered at the Goodrich Oxford 7 Theater for ONTV's 5th annual Wildwood Film Festival. 11 teams took part in the festival, having just 4 days to write, shoot, and edit a short film before the deadline. Each team was assigned a prop, location, and a random line of dialogue. Judges viewed each submission, and the winners were announced after the film festival. Taking first place in the adult division were Samantha and Sarah Andrus for their film Little Bigfoot.
I was honestly really surprised because everyone did such a good job. I was like really just surprised, but happy.
What was your reaction?
It was really awesome to see all of our hard work paying off. I was just so happy for everybody, and it was such a good experience.
On the evening of Friday, October 19th, 125 kids and their family members arrived at the Orion Center for the 10th annual Boo Bash. Kids ranging in age from 1 to 8 years old enjoyed cider and donuts, carnival games, trick-or-treating, and face painting. Families were able to hop on board a hayride where they were taken to a pumpkin patch. The first Boo Bash was held in 2008 in Friendship Park and moved to the Orion Center in 2012.
I think it's a good event for kids because they can kind of pick and choose what they want to do. They can, go out to the pumpkin patch. They can play games all night. There's really no structure to it. So it's kind of like a free-for-all, and kids get to dress up and have fun.
On Wednesday, October 24th, the community came together to celebrate the grand opening of the Oxford Orion Fish Food Pantry's new location. The food pantry had been operating out of a tiny building in Oxford, but had outgrown it over the years. In 2017, Dan Davis contacted Fish with a proposal for a new location on Lapeer Road. After extensive renovations, Dan donated the building to the organization, which provided twice the square footage.
Well, we're here because of the incredible generosity of one of our local residents who has actually donated this building for us to use as our new fish pantry for Oxford Orion.
On Wednesday, October 24th, hundreds of costume kids and parents gathered at the Eamon Center for the start of the annual Halloween parade. Participants made their way down Broadway Street with Police Chief Jerry Narsh leading the way in the department's 1941 Ford police car. In the downtown area, businesses handed out candy to the trick-or-treaters, and families were able to enjoy cider and donuts in the gazebo and Children's Park.
Happy Halloween. We are here in downtown Lake Orion, and it's the Halloween parade. And at 6 o'clock, we had a bunch of kids all dressed up in costume, and some dogs dressed up in costumes, and the cops in their fancy cars ready to go down Broadway. We walked all the way down Broadway to here. This is Children's Park in downtown Lake Orion, and we are now serving cider and donuts. And the kids get to trick-or-treat right across the way in the Children's Park parking lot trick-or-treat area, and then all the way back up the Broadway and all through downtown with the stores. Downtown Lake Orion is so happy to have all of you here. Happy Halloween. Enjoy yourselves. I hope you have a great time.
On Saturday, November 3rd, approximately 250 people gathered at Malash's Palace Chrysler dealership in Orion Township for the Lion Club's annual A Christmas for Everyone charity dinner and auction. Attendees enjoyed a buffet dinner and took part in silent and live auctions. Items included Piston Suite tickets, jewelry, luggage, a Shinola watch, and a whole lot more.
Well, we do go into the community and we ask the community for their support if they're willing to help us with a donation, an item from their store, gift cards, things like that. And then also we take funds within our club that we raise and we buy these items. We go shop and then we bring them and put them into a basket and then we sell them that way also.
Money raised from ticket sales and auction proceeds go toward the Lions Club's Christmas Basket program, benefiting local families and seniors in need. Tuesday, November 6th was Election Day, and voters were asked to determine the outcome of numerous races, several proposals, and the fate of the school district's bond proposition. According to Oakland County's website, much of Oakland County enjoyed a near-record turnout for a midterm election. Overall, 64% of Oakland County's registered voters cast a ballot on Election Day. In the race for governor, Democrat Gretchen Whitmer was elected after receiving 57% of the vote in Oakland County, versus Republican Bill Schuette's 40%. Statewide, the results were slightly closer, with Whitmer receiving 53% to Schuette's 43%. Michigan residents also voted to legalize marijuana and approve sweeping election reform. Here in Lake Orion, voters passed a hotly debated school improvement bond proposition with 55% of the vote. On the morning of Wednesday, November 21st, dignitaries and representatives of the Road Commission for Oakland County gathered near the intersection of Flint Street and Orion Road to celebrate the official grand opening of Lake Orion's newest roundabout.
1, 2, 3.
You can look. I've looked at the morning rush through here. The backups are significantly less than normal, and as we tout, it's safety. By far, it's going to be a safe intersection for years to come.
On the evening of Friday, November 30th, Galling Buick GMC was the site of the 12th annual Holly Jolly Folly. More than 400 people enjoyed a night of music, food, and fun, with proceeds from ticket sales and a silent auction benefiting next year's Christmas parade.
Galling Buick GMC has been putting it on for approximately 12 years. We started out with about 100 people showing up. We are now at the biggest one-night affair, attended affair here in Lake Orion. We probably got about, if the fire marshal's not listening, I hope, 415 people here. So we've got a lot of people here. You can see the lines are still coming around to come in. We got a huge silent auction, so we've been working at this for about a month or so. Sold out in 10 days.
Just 24 hours later, Orion area residents began lining the streets of downtown Lake Orion for the start of the lighted Christmas parade. Leading the way, as usual, was Police Chief Jerry Narsh and the department's 1941 vintage police car. Riding in the passenger seat was honored veteran Ken Smith. Recognized as Citizen of the Year was Dawn Ames, the Director of Family Ministry at Lake Orion United Methodist Church. The weather refused to cooperate, with a steady drizzle soaking participants throughout the night, but that didn't seem to affect anyone's enthusiasm. This year's theme was Rocking Down Broadway, and 129 entries assembled at Blanche Sims Elementary and made their way through the village. And of course, Santa Claus himself delighted onlookers as he ushered in the Christmas season from his sleigh at the tail end of the parade. On the morning of Saturday, December 1st, area families flocked to the Orion Center on Jocelyn Road for the third annual Breakfast with the Grinch event. kids and family members posed with the Grinch for a fun photo opportunity and enjoyed arts and crafts and some green eggs and ham to start their day. This year's event was so popular, organizers had to host 2 separate events, one at 10 a.m. and the second at 11:30 a.m. Each session accommodated 60 kids and their family members, making this year's event the biggest one yet. While that was going on, attendees were encouraged to wander over to the ONTV studio, where Santa Claus was waiting to meet with the children. Known as Santa Live, the event was broadcast live on local cable TV and on Facebook for 2 hours as a steady stream of families made their way through the TV studio.
After finishing the regular season 68-6, the Lake Orion Dragons varsity volleyball team entered the postseason ranked number 2 behind Farmington Hills Mercy. For the 3rd time in school history, the team advanced to the semifinals on November 16th, where they upset Farmington Hills Mercy at the Kellogg Arena in Battle Creek. On Saturday, November 17th, the Dragons faced off against the Rockford Rams in the finals. Lake Orion took the first 2 sets, 25-18 and 25-23, before dropping the 3rd set, 23-25. The Dragons bounced back to take the 4th and final set, 25-16, with the game-winning kill coming from Paige Briggs. For the first time in school history, the Lake Orion Dragons varsity volleyball team claimed the MHSAA Division I state title.
On the evening of Tuesday, December 4th, the community gathered in Children's Park in downtown Lake Orion for a Christmas tree lighting ceremony. Representatives of Orion Music Studio led the crowd in Christmas carols, and Santa Claus met with the little ones.
3, 2, 1, go! Merry Christmas, everybody! What a beautiful tree!
On Thursday, December 6th, Chamber of Commerce staff, board members, and business leaders gathered at Paint Creek Country Club for the 2018 Impact Awards. The event was an opportunity to recognize ambassadors, board members, and staff. And the big award of the event, 2018's Business Person of the Year, went to Brian Burney of the Burney Directive.
It was a surprise. There's always a lot of really awesome people that are up for this award. I'll be honest, it's something I always wanted. It's always something to shoot for, just because it's such an honor. It's a great group of people, a great group of businesses, professionals. So to be the Business Person of the Year for the Orion Area Chamber of Commerce was, a really, really cool, awesome thing to get at the end of this year.
On Wednesday, December 12th, law enforcement, first responders, and military personnel assembled at Target in Auburn Hills for the annual Shop with a Hero event. 110 kids were partnered up with a hero and enjoyed a pizza party before venturing into the store with $150 to spend on presents. Of course, the program wouldn't be possible without generous donations from members of the community.
We've had businesses, churches, individuals, persons, people and companies that say they don't want publicly to know that they gave because it's just for them. So we have so many people who stepped up in the last 2 weeks to bring almost $20,000 together to make this happen.
On Friday, December 14th, dozens of volunteers gathered at the gymnasium in the Cirque building to begin assembling baskets of food and gifts for family and seniors in need. Much of the food you see here was collected through food drives organized by Lake Orion schools.
What we do is we work with the schools. About 80% of the families that we deliver to are referred to us through the schools.
On the morning of Sunday, December 16th, conditions were fairly pleasant as approximately 130 runners and walkers gathered at the Orion Center for the start of Orion Township's 2nd annual Snow Dash.
Well, it's a beautiful day for mid-December. It's a little chilly, but the wind is calm. The course is fantastic. We didn't have to plow it this year. I was a little worried with some of the rain that we had earlier in the week and thought maybe we might have some issues, but no, beautiful day, beautiful course. Great response this year. I think we're probably about twice as many as last year. Last year we were about 60. This year we're about 130 runners. People in the area like to get out, enjoy nature, and run.
And with that, we'll wrap up this look back at the events that helped shape the Lake Orion community in 2018. On behalf of the hardworking ONTV News team, I'm Stacy Calloway. Happy New Year.